In the trailers for Gears of War E-Day and Dragon Age the Veilguard, what does in-engine actually mean? Why do they do it? And what should you take away when you see this in a trailer? This is just one type of fine print on game trailers nowadays, like footage captured on PC, not all images appear in-game, mix of CG and in-game footage, or captured on PS5, some camera angles adjusted for trailer use. For one explanation, we can look at the Total War games, because the developers made a post describing the differences between their cinematic, in-engine, and gameplay trailers, and how they're careful to label them accordingly. For in-engine, they say the video uses development in progress in-game assets and code as a basis for a video shot with cinematic camera techniques to create movie-like footage. This is representative of the themes and general look and feel of the game, but it is not the direct in-game experience you will get when you are physically playing the final game. In a nutshell, in-engine trailers are still cinematic trailers in that they're put together with custom environments, models, terrain, camera movements, and animations set up to run in the game's engine. You might later see elements from them in in-game cutscenes. The trailer is then rendered out like how you render animations out of programs like After Effects or any 3D animation software. This means even though it was created in the game's engine, it didn't run on the computer in real time. The game engine was used to render out the frames that were then put back together in video editing software to play back at the full frame rate. For Total War, they said in the rendering process, they also add post-processing effects like depth of field and motion blur, which are not in the game, but create more atmosphere and help tell the story in the trailer. Similarly, when I worked on Firewatch, for the final reveal when Delilah says, "Then who is?" Camposanto wanted to take full advantage of the massive ultra wide screen in the theater of the Sony E3 press conference. So when Henry turned around to look at his tower, if you were in the theater, you saw the shot fill the entire massive screen. Now, the game was not capable of rendering this incredibly wide view in real time, so it was a custom in-engine setup, which was then rendered out of Unity in single frames that were then exported out of editing software to be sent in the final assets. The reason for making trailers this way is because otherwise the developers would have to optimize the game to get everything in running in real time in time for the trailer's release. But making that happen could be a long time coming. I'm guessing they're working on optimization up through just before the game comes out. So this way they can make a game trailer which is pretty representative of the final look of the game before they have the tech to run it in real time at 30 or 60 frames a second. Of course, the ideal scenario is to have it running in real time, so they can just say, this is real gameplay, but for various reasons, that's not always possible. So for Gears of War E-Day and Dragon Age, because of the in-engine fine print, it's very likely that similarly, the shots in these trailers are not running in real time off of a PC or Xbox, but things like lighting, shaders, and the look of the game are all things that engine is capable of doing. What the game will be capable of running in real time is something we'll have to wait to see when the game comes out. So the takeaway is, the game could look this good when you play it at home, but it might have some things which won't be in the final game. It's dependent on how much they can optimize the game to cram in as many things to make the game look good and have it still run at their target frame rate.